Well, welcome to our final unit in economics. We are dealing with fixing the economy. Last unit was all about measuring the economy. So we're looking at things like international trade and economic growth as far as it dealt with GDP, real GDP specifically. We're looking at unemployment and inflation as measures. Now, we want to take those measures and we want to talk about how do we fix the economy? How does the government and central banks, financial intermediaries, fix the economy? And this is actually really self-explanatory of life. So the goal here is to help you understand headlines that you read in the news and be able to explain like how we're dealing with scarcity and the problems that arise from it and the decision making behind these two key actors, which function totally separately. Our government is in the most debt actually to our central bank, not another nation like China, who we're in the second most debt to. It's our central bank. So how does that work? And how do both these two try to fix the macro economy? So we're going to look at market failures at first, which would occur without government. We're going to identify 5 types, give some examples and how the government fixes them. So without government, there'd be failures, we'll call them, and they would occur most frequently in a free market. How come? Well, there's no government in a free market system. That was where individuals are more powerful than the government. So consumers and producers both suffer, and it's a result of things not being provided. And why wouldn't they be provided? They'd be provided because wouldn't be provided because there's really no way to make money off these things or no reason to regulate certain things. There'd be inefficiencies. So that's what market failures are, and we'll look at these 5 major types of market failures, and we'll talk about how the government provides these, encourages these, discourages these, and regulates these two, and encourages mobility of resources. So a couple of these should be pretty straightforward. Public goods. Well, public goods are provided by the government. They wouldn't be provided in a free market system because they're not profitable. They don't make money. There would still be police and military and roads and the fire department and schools, and these would still be out there, but they would not be provided at the level that is needed by society. So the government funds these things through the collection of taxes, and they provide these to us for, in quotations, free. But you know that nothing's ever free because there's no such thing as a free lunch. Or public land would be overused. So it's called tragedy of the commons. An example of that is Mille Lacs. For any fishers out there, there you go. You could pause that, read that scenario. So the government fixes the problem of public goods, or the failure, again, would occur without government, by taxing and promoting property rights. They give us free land and then they regulate that free land. If you think about it, a driver's license, well, what is that really? It's a government tax to say that you can drive on the road, and they're funding that, funding things to keep roads safe or road conditions by that tax. A tag for hunting and fishing is a government tax to regulate common property or private property, but still making sure that land is used correctly. Second failure that would occur without government is called externalities. So there's 2 of these. Think external as an external shell. So there's positive things that the government promotes that we do that benefit others, and there's things the government discourages because they come at a cost. A flu shot's an example. If you get the flu shot and I don't get it, that's an external, a third party that benefits. Well, most flu shots are provided for free. Why are they free? Well, because it promotes wellness. If you buy an electric car, I don't die of pollution. That's a good thing. So you get $2,500 to $7,500 back in taxes for buying an electric car. Those are positive externality examples. What about a negative externality? Well, secondhand smoke's a perfect example. $2.6 billion was spent on medical care of non-smokers in 2004, up to $6 billion a year. Well, so we regulate this industry, the government does, to ensure that we discourage negative externalities or things like soda taxes and stuff like that. So what does the government do to promote positive externalities? Give tax credits or discounts, or they offer them for free. And they discourage negative externalities by usually putting tax on them or banning them or putting up certain laws and rules and regulations to protect us as consumers and, I guess, realistically, industries from themselves to discourage those. Okay, inadequate competition is market failure number 3. So not enough competition. That's pretty much straightforward. It's mergers, cartels, companies working together, or forming together, because that hurts consumers. Without government to regulate industry, all markets would move to monopolies, and we would suffer the most. So a perfect example, Sprint, T-Mobile, that merger is blocked. AT&T, Time Warner is a merger that's happening right now. So how does the government fix these problems? They deny mergers or regulate prices, but of natural monopolies. So deny mergers, regulate prices. Market failure, that number 4, that would occur without government, is inadequate information. Not enough information. What do we mean by that? Well, the seller is the expert and has perfect knowledge, okay, or knows more. They have asymmetric, meaning that they could hurt the buyers by telling a buyer that they need something or that it costs too much. Information about products is not given. So we have laws in place that regulate. And if you don't know about radon, that's something that you should probably look up, find out, research about, and you should know, or you should have been told by the seller of your house if there's radon in your home. So the government goes and regulates industries. They have the Better Business Bureau. They have Truth in Labeling Act. This was a lie by Monsanto. Glyphosate doesn't hurt pets. Well, it does. It actually kills them. So they're sued by the government for false advertising. They have to show consumers what the price of their product is. The Better Business Bureau regulates that. Ask the MyPillow guy from Eden Prairie. He was fine. He has a very poor rating by the Better Business Bureau because he lied about his buy one, get one free deals on his pillows. Well, the buy one, get one free, he charged the price of the second pillow in his first one. You can't do that. Okay, finally, we have this resource and mobility. This is tougher to think about, but let's just keep it simple. Take out entrepreneurs. Let's think land, labor, capital. They don't always move to where they're needed the most. A perfect example is Rogers. How? Well, Rogers was a tax-free city for a long time. What did it mean? It meant that capital could start in Rogers tax-free. Capital, things to make other things. Think about the city. It is a industrial city more so than consumer. What's an example of a consumer-based city? Think Albertville or think Maple Grove. Think stores that people, consumers, go shop at. Well, you promote capital moving to the city of Rogers because it's in a very important location on 94 and 101. You can kind of go anywhere in the state, and once you follow 94 and hit 35, you can go anywhere north-south in the middle of the country from. So you promote capital to move where it's needed best. You promote people or resources or land, like in the case of Denali State Park, you find some way to access all that oil in there so you don't turn the polar bears into black bears. So looking at those market failures, you should have a good idea of how the government steps in and fixes the economy. We'll look at fiscal policy and taxes next.